I first felt a lump a couple of years ago, and I figured it was no big deal because
I'm just a lumpy person. I'm just so healthy. I figured there couldn't be anything wrong with me. I walk on the beach every night. I swim in the pool every morning. I eat broccoli every day. What could be wrong with me? And they told me it was probably normal because it moved. So I took that as good news. They told me I was eligible for a free mammogram. But I didn't wind up going to get it because I was so busy pulling my life out of an economic shithole, better known as the garment business. It's true what he said. You cannot give it away on 7th Avenue. Mick Jagger was very prophetic. I first got the idea to do a boutique inside of a cabana when I was hanging around the Four Seasons pool a lot. So I thought, oh, that would make a great way to make a store. Then, last October, my breasts started doing strange things. This time, a very alarmed nurse gives me an urgent referral. They gave me a mammogram, they gave me an ultrasound biopsy, and they diagnosed me and told me that I had breast cancer. I'm sitting there in front of my old house, and desperately thinking of where I can live. I'm in this race against time for my life, because if I don't have a place to live, I won't be able to have this surgery. It wasn't a fancy house. It was just kind of cool and groovy. And I remembered how my babysitter taught me how to sew when I was 10 in that house, because I wanted outfits. And around 16, I started, all the other girls were wearing like expensive designer clothes. I couldn't afford them because my parents got divorced. So I started making things for myself. And I wore one of my outfits to the in place to go at that time was this roller disco called Flippers. And it's now the CVS on La Cienega. These girls asked me where I got my outfit and if they could buy one from me when I told them I made it. The cool thing in my high school times was to have a hostessing job at the Chart House restaurant. They were not hiring me at the cool job. And my dad was like, wait a minute. He was like, you have people that want to buy your clothes. Why do you want to work in a stupid restaurant? And I was like, oh. Soon enough, I was making everybody's, who was anybody's prom dress for $125 a pop, and a lot of free volleyball shorts for all these surfers who I thought somehow I wanted to fit in with. Somehow I was making them a lot of free shorts. And I had turned our whole den into my own little sweatshop. I highly recommend starting a business in high school while you're under your parents' roof, because you have no overhead. And I remember this nice family that lived on the cul-de-sac over. So I knock on the door, and he comes to the door, and I tell him that I've been diagnosed with cancer, and I have no place to live, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And he invites me in, and he immediately just gets out a pad of paper and writes this note to one of the buildings that he owns that has a lot of units, and sends me right over to their leasing office. And I'm shown to my new, beautiful apartment. That business that I started in high school got me accepted to the Rhode Island School of Design, which is an Ivy League art school. The reason they accepted me was because I sent these pictures of these girls, and this is us in high school. I think this is the funniest picture from the 80s. I didn't like the feeling of constantly paying them for every assignment they gave you, because I was used to people paying me. And I knew that the real fashion business was in New York City. And I decided I wanted to move there. And the first day, I was so excited to be in New York, I walked from every corner of the city. I walked from uptown to downtown. I was so happy to be there. And we topped it off. I went to Studio 54 with Amy at midnight. I was like, what time are we going out? She's like, midnight. Like, that was her normal thing. I never heard of that before. Oh, we would even dress like this in the daytime. That's how kind of wild times this was. That's how we hung around all the time. One day, I made a red dress with red roses. And then I said, I'll put them on my jeans. Put them on my 501s. Then I made a bikini. And I thought, I could go on forever. Like, there's a million ways you could use these flowers on things. The possibilities are endless. The first piece of press I ever got was this in Paper magazine. It really helped me a lot. They even got me my first celebrity client, Cyndi Lauper. And when I went to deliver the outfit to Cyndi Lauper, she came to the door and she went to kiss me on this cheek, and I went to kiss her on that cheek, and we landed in the middle. It was good. I had been reading in my post about Madonna going to be on the Tony Awards. I made her a bolero and a long gown to wear, and I got on my bike and I rode it to the theater that she was playing in. There was no security. I just kept saying wardrobe, wardrobe, wardrobe until I got to her dressing room, and I left the outfit with a note saying, I don't know what you're wearing to the Tonys, but I think you should wear this. And then the next day, I got this call from them saying that she was going to wear it and that they'd been looking for something of my line anyway. So by 1988, the fashion tide was starting to turn in New York City. Like, I want flowers to be my thing for the rest of my life. And other people were like, you can't just keep doing flowers. I was getting this resistance. The day that Vogue was shooting this article, they did this little article on me. They were all in my house shooting this article. And that was the day that Anna Wintour was taking over. And it was just in the air that, like, heads were going to roll. I kind of refer to this period of my life as before the devil wore Prada, because I was so lucky to get into Vogue right before the changing of the guard. And I always wanted to have a shop, so I decided to move back to LA and put the Rose in Melrose. So Naomi Campbell used to come into the store a lot. Don't think I didn't notice Naomi. She's wearing my shorts in the Chanel show. That's a Chanel show. But they're my shorts with the flowers on them. When she puts your outfit on, it's like something out of this world. Like, she truly is a supermodel. So I found this killer dream house in Laurel Canyon. This is how it was when I found it. And I just thought, oh, I could expand into this space and really cover the world with flowers. So I moved up to there, and I did cover it with a lot of flowers. I painted this pool. After I moved out, I painted it over, but then it kept coming back up. And so the man sued me, and he won $1,000. I was so mad. My mind told me to go back to this children's line that I had started in New York. And I thought, oh, well, I can be more wild with children's clothes. It seemed like pretty much I move like every 3 years. I'm always having to reinvent how I do my business. I got a storefront on 3rd Street, and that was great for a while. Mr. Pearson always asks me, how did you know to walk up to the one person who could help you? How did you know to do that? And I'm like, I don't know how I knew. Someone said to me, when they told you you had cancer, did you throw up? And I said, no. I asked them, what's going to happen to my hair?